Basics of Windwalker. So let me head over to the dummies real quick. So I guess to start off, I've been playing Monk since really late Hellfire Citadel. I was playing it on Alpha and Beta, and I realized that I really liked Monk. I liked the playstyle, and I used to be a Rogue main, and they pretty much destroyed Rogue in my mind. So I went to Monk, and I'm loving it. I like it way more than I like Rogue. So let's look at talents real quick. So basically, G-Wave is the only one to go here. I mean, for pretty much every situation. There's no situation where you want these other two. The damage of these is just so little that it doesn't really matter. And the reason you want to take G-Wave is so that you can keep up hit combo in between pulls, because it only has a 15-second cooldown and it's instant cast, versus a 30-second cooldown with a cast time. So just stick with G-Wave. Keep it easy. This row is completely up to you. It's just movement, so it's how you prefer to move around. You can either have 3 rolls and have them be less cooldown, or you can have Tiger's Lust, or you can have Chi Torpedo. I personally like Chi Torpedo, unless it's a fight that has root abilities such as Dragons of Nightmare and Emerald Nightmare. There's roots in that fight, so I would take Tiger's Lust if I was tryharding for that fight. Energizing Elixir and Power Strikes are the only 2 competitive ones here. Ascension is complete garbage. Power Strikes is basically for the newbies. It's a passive, and it just passively gives you an extra chi. I started with this, and I liked it. I liked it a lot. Even though I knew that Energizing Elixir was better mathematically, I still played Power Strikes for a really long time because I liked the playstyle of it. But then I put some time into learning Energizing Elixir, and it's completely better. It's way better. So if you're wanting to really maximize, you need to go Elixir. This row, I mean, this is another row that's there's just one that you just always go, and there's very little reason to switch it. Leg sweep, I mean, it's just a 5-second stun. I mean, it's so good. There's absolutely no reason for Blackhawk statue. It dies extremely fast, and it's just not worth it. This one could have some use in PvP possibly, but even that is debatable. I think a 5-second stun is probably even better in PvP. This row is basically just a survivability row, and it comes down to the fight. I would say most people run Healing Elixir. It's pretty solid, but I typically just run Diffuse Magic for a lot of fights, just because it can save you in a bad situation, and there's fights where I feel like it's pretty mandatory, and so I basically just run Diffuse Magic. But Dampen Harm, it has its uses as well, so it's just a fight per fight basis. This row just got buffed in 7.15, and it made these 2 talents, Zwen and Rushing Jade Wind, more competitive. Basically, for single target, you're going to want to take hit combo. For extended long AoE, you're going to want to take Rushing Jade Wind, and the only time I've taken Rushing Jade Wind is the first pull in Maw of Souls. I guess I shouldn't say the first pull in Maw of Souls, because you have to have it for the whole dungeon, but I only take it for when I'm trying to do crazy damage in Maw of Souls. And even that is I mean it's good, but I still just prefer hit combo. I just really like hit combo, and the only fight that you would use Zwen on is a fight that's very fast. So it's going to be a fight that you have on farm, and you're going to be killing it within like a minute or something, so I've never used it personally, but they did buff the damage of it by quite a bit. I think like 500% with the patch, but I still just run hit combo for everything. This row, well, when the patch first came out, there was a bug with Chi Orbit, and it was making it extremely OP. So that was good for about 10 hours, and then it got hotfixed. So basically, it's between Whirling Dragon Punch and Serenity. Whirling Dragon Punch is probably the go-to. I mean, they buffed Storm, Earth, and Fire quite a bit. They fixed the bugs, and they made transfer of power and stuff go on the clones as well. So I can see Serenity being useful for like a certain number of fights. I actually think that like Serenity and Rushing Jade Wind could be quite good for some fights where you just need some really crazy burst AoE. But I like Whirling Dragon Punch. I like the playstyle of Whirling Dragon Punch personally. And to be honest, this build that I have right here is actually a very good balanced build. If you just want, if you never want to change your talents and you just want to, play what's good in majority of situations, just do this. Do this build exactly right here. It's just the best overall. So that's talents. Let's look at gear real quick. So I'm 894 geared, equipped, and at this point I'm trying to get as much versatility as I can. For Windwalkers, you want your best stat is obviously agility. You want agility. Let's pull a pawn here actually. So these are the stat weights that you kind of want to try to follow. They do change when you get more gear and your stats fluctuate. But agility equals 1, crit 0.54, haste 0.46, mastery 0.62, and versatility 0.53. So haste is the worst stat on single target. So you want to get really big mastery and versatility and crit for single target. I'm in the stage where I'm trying to get more versatility, so I have Gorm with versatility on it, which is pretty good. I have the Urn, which it's a decent trinket, but I'm trying to get other ones. But the thing about haste is that haste really increases on AoE because you get more energy regen, and the more energy regen you have, the more chi you have, and the more chi you have, the more spinning crane kicks you can get. So it's dangerous to assume that haste is really bad for Monk because Monk actually accelerates in AoE situations, and so you want to have some haste. But if you're going for a soul single target fight, such as like Croesus in Nighthold, or maybe like an Ursok fight, that you want to keep your haste pretty low. But it's kind of hard to avoid haste sometimes because it's just on gear. I do have the Senadrill Legendary Cloak, which is decent. It got nerfed twice in a row, so it's not as good as it once was. But Karma can do some okay damage sometimes. And I have Pradaz, which is very good as a stat stick. I like Pradaz actually. I used to hate it a lot, but it's not too bad. And then I also have Cephus, which again they buffed it, so it's not a terrible ring, but I definitely don't have the best in slot legendaries. But you can still do very competitive damage without it. This is a Vault of the Wardens 9 that I did. This is overall damage. As you can see, I did 31% of the overall damage in the group. So you can still do very well as a Windwalker without the best in slot legendaries. So let's go into the legendaries real quick. So Pradaz, pretty good stat stick. The absorb on it is pretty good, pretty solid. It actually is kind of annoying with Touch of Karma sometimes though. Already went over the cloak, it's pretty good. The chest piece I haven't used yet, but I think it's just flawed in design, to be honest. I think it's pretty stupid that they put Crackling Jade Lightning into a Windwalker rotation when they tried to take it out earlier in the expansion by giving it an energy cost. So I think it's just a flawed design just from the get-go, but it does do a lot of damage once you stack it up 20 times. But I hope I do not get it, but I probably will. Drinking Horn cover is the best in slot legendary if you are taking Whirling Dragon Punch as opposed to Serenity. It is very good. It extends the duration of Storm, Earth, and Fire by quite a bit. The gloves are probably one of the worst ones as well. You can use Touch of Death twice before the cooldown's triggered. I think it's just kind of hard in practice to use it. So I mean, a lot of fights, there's only one mob out at the beginning, and so it's kind of, I don't know. It's just not. It's not super good. This one, I mean, it's pretty good because you always use your burst at the beginning of a fight, and so you can get extra additional damage. But again, it's one of the weaker ones. The boots are the second best in slot. So the best is the bracers, and the boots is what you want to try to get. It just reduces the cost of Fist of Fury. It makes Fist of Fury a lot easier to use. It doesn't do more damage or anything, it just makes it easier to use. Set Fuse is pretty decent. It gives you quite a bit of haste, so I would use it, when you can definitely get an interrupt or a stun on mobs. So, Mythic Plus, it's probably pretty good, and maybe some of the bosses in Nighthold where you can get an interrupt. It could be decent. The trinket I'm not really sure about. I know they buffed the damage on the use, but I don't know. I mean, I would personally rather have some of the other trinkets, and but I can definitely see that this would be good on an AoE trash pack as well. I mean, Windwalker is very bursty AoE as well, and so you add this and it's even more. So it's good. It's good, but could be better. And this one is from a damage point of view, it's definitely the worst one because there is no damage increase from it. The stats aren't even that great. There's no mastery or versatility on it, but it's very good for utility for the raid. We had one in our guild. We had a monk in our guild who had it, and you could tell the difference when he was there. You had that extra move speed, so it was pretty good. So those are the legendaries. So we talked about talents, legendaries. Okay, let's talk about rotation. So single target is pretty straightforward. I kind of view it as like a priority list of you want to use Strike of the Windlord on cooldown. You want to use Whirling Dragon Punch on cooldown, and Fist of Fury and Rising Sun Kick. And so you're basically just going to be playing around that. You're going to be trying to get the most amount of those abilities up as you can. I think one thing that people do that really hurts their Windwalker damage is that they get in this pattern of spamming Blackout Kick, Tiger Palm, Blackout Kick, Tiger Palm, and then when Rising Sun Kick and when Fist of Fury come up, they don't have enough chi or they don't have enough energy, and they have to sit there and they have to wait. I think that's the biggest problem that Windwalkers face. And so you want to make sure, right now I have Fist of Fury coming up in 6 seconds, so I better have 3 chi ready for it. So right when it comes up, boom, I'm casting it. AoE is kind of deceptive actually, in the fact that if it's think first pull in Mauve Souls. It's probably gonna die really quick, and you want it to die really quick. And so you're going to be better off spamming Spinning Crane Kick than trying to get a Fist of Fury and then throwing in a Rising Sun Kick and then getting a Whirling Dragon Punch. Trying to get a Whirling Dragon Punch, it just takes too long. It takes too long, and you want those ads to die quick. And if you don't do the damage, someone else is gonna do it. The Fire Mage in the group is gonna do it. The BM Hunter in the group is gonna do it. The Demon Hunter in the group is gonna do it. So you want to make sure that you're the one who's doing the damage. So you're just gonna spam Spinning Crane Kick, and you're gonna try to tab target. You're gonna try to get your Mark of the Crane stacks up. For more, Fist of Fury is still good on AoE, don't get me wrong, but when you want it to die really quick, you don't use it. Let's go single target. So the single target rotation when you're doing a boss is you're gonna want to, let's do there's a 5-second cooldown or countdown. So you're gonna want to chi wave to get one. Let's ignore that it actually hit that, and then you're gonna want to Flying Serpent Kick. So you have 2 stacks of hit combo going into the fight. You're gonna go in. You're gonna Tiger Palm, Touch of Death, Spirits, Rising Sun Kick, Strike of the Windlord, Tiger Palm, Fist of Fury, and then you're gonna spam Whirling Dragon Punch. And from this point, it's